I see trees of green, red roses too. I see them bloom for me and you. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. I see skies of blue and clouds of white, the bright blessed day, the dark sacred night. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. What a wonderful world. I see skies of blue and clouds of white, the bright blessed day, the dark sacred night. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. The colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the sky, are also on the faces of people going by. I see friends shaking hands, saying, how do you do? They're really saying, I love you. I hear babies cry, I watch them grow. They'll learn much more than I never knew. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Yes, I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Ooh, yeah.
Right. Okay, so do we keep war in there? Yeah, exactly. You got enough room there? Okay. Yeah, I did look at that gap thinking, stuff is being up at the pop. Put it on.
Everyone here okay? Yep, cool. Well, before we begin today, please be aware that once you're outside of this room, that hospitality COVID protocols still apply. While you're here, this is a private function, so masks aren't mandatory. So it's entirely up to you what you would like to do. Restrooms are through the bar on the other side of the hallway. So if anyone's got any need to use them, please remember that the COVID rules do apply when you go into the door. All right, well, we're here to celebrate the life of Warren Nelson. Those who don't know him, my name's Derek. I'm one of Warren's many friends, and I'm honoured to have been asked by Maritza and the family, who've been unable to get here, just to start off this celebration. If you haven't as yet signed a condolence book, there is one here somewhere, so please do so before you leave. So, there will also be a celebration in California. As you would imagine, Warren had a vast network of friends in Napa and the wider California area, and indeed the US, and so Maritza will also have a celebration there. So consequently, we don't have any contributions from the US family, just the Kiwi family. The family wish to invite all of you who would like to go to the graveside later today. There will be a minibus. Will be out in front here at 2 o'clock, and for anybody who wishes to take advantage of that, you can do multiple runs if necessary. But that will take you from the hotel frontage to the cemetery, and it's a cemetery that overlooks Long Beach if you're planning your own transport. For those who prefer to remain here, Maritza has arranged for the bar to be open. And also there will be a range of non-alcoholic beverages, as well as beer and wine. There's tea and coffee, and also there will be a selection of foods coming out, because I'm sure you'll need suspense after a little while here. So this is a celebration because Warren was such a fun-loving guy. Anything else would be completely out of character. If you have good memories, or better still funny stories, that we all want to hear them. Many of you will have enjoyed games of golf, fishing trips, meals, glasses of wine, or just a dang good time with Warren. And you'll also have enjoyed his creative one-liners. So we want to hear those. One that comes to mind is after he had his lung transplant, was oxygen is underrated. So if you have any of those or ditties, please share them with us today. Now, Warren served 2 tours with the US Navy in Vietnam. He was the Admiral's radio man. Now, Maritza could never figure out how somebody who could never keep a secret from her could be entrusted to handle all that sensitive information. I can only conclude that she had some interesting interrogation techniques. So he was also a public servant. Whilst in the public service, he served as mayor of Yountville for a number of years. This is his hometown at the time in Napa Valley, California, and subsequently became a successful businessman. You'll know that whilst Warren and Maritza have spent the last 20 years as regular visitors to New Zealand, in fact their very first visit was this very building. They stayed here 20 years ago when they first came to New Zealand. When Warren arrived in November 19, he was expecting to stay until March, which was his normal routine, when he would return to California shortly after Maritza. As we know, COVID-19 got in the way, and Warren very wisely stayed here while the border was closed. And on doctor's advice, he stayed on another 2.5 years. And during that time, he truly became Kiwi Warren. In order to remain here, that Warren had to navigate the vagaries of immigration in New Zealand. I'm sure some of you have had experience of that. And they certainly gave him the runaround. But right now, he'll be smiling because he's had the last laugh. Because they can't make him leave now. Now, we have messages for Maritza, Brian and Kimberly, which will now be read out by firstly Lorraine, followed by Alan, and then Leanne. So Lorraine, all yours.
Hello, my darling, wise, wonderful husband Warren, and hello to our dear New Zealand friends. You, our New Zealand friends, are really our family too. Your gracious, generous love redefines the meaning of the word friendship and takes it to an unbounded higher level. Warren, you are the love of my life. I fell in love with you at first sight. I looked into those sparkling blue eyes of yours, your radiant smile full of mischief, and that extraordinarily handsome face, and I went weak at the knees. Yes, it was love at first sight, a love that has grown greater with every day since the moment we met. You promised my father at our wedding that you would keep me laughing every day. You certainly kept your promise. Your contagious joy and enthusiasm for everything in life has delighted everyone who has ever met you. You often said that your mother gave you birth, but I gave you life. Then I would inevitably respond that before we met, my life was only black, white and grey, but you filled it with colours galore, unending rainbows. We have travelled the world together. We have overcome countless difficulties, always with optimism. We have lived every day to the fullest. We found joy in everything. I love all our adventures and misadventures. Our misadventures always ending in hilarious laughter. There's the time that we got lost hiking in the Trinity Alps during a thunder and lightning storm, certain that we were going to die. There is the time we went backpacking and bears ate the 50 pounds of food we trekked in on the very first night of our mountain experience. We were only left with 2 bottles of whiskey, but we made the most of those 2 bottles. Then there was the unforgettable time when you blew up the boat engine on an outing in the Bay of Islands. There is your gift of always, but always, going in the wrong direction in the woods. Everyone here knows that at Warren's very core, he felt he didn't exist unless he was giving to others. He served as mayor of his Napa town. In so many ways, he lived his philosophy of serving the community, helping others, making this a better world. This generosity of spirit was often seen in his love of dinner parties. He loved to cook for friends. He loved to bring people around the dinner table and make the house ring with laughter. In that spirit, Warren is sent to eternity, such as the pharaohs of ancient Egypt, with things that matter to him in this life. In his casket is a tablecloth and napkins to represent his love of bringing friends together around the dinner table. Also accompanying him to eternity is his favourite golf club, the one with which he did a hole-in-one at the Waitangi Golf Club. Of course, in his pocket is a small comb, which he always kept in his pants. Warren was very proud of his beautiful head of hair, but he once said that it's very sad when a man reaches a time in his life and the best thing you could say about him is that he has a good head of hair. Also buried Warren is a little bell, on which is written, "More wine, please." Accompanying him to eternity are photos of his beloved family, Brian and Kimberly, the children he worshipped and admired, Brian's beautiful wife Lani, plus our adorable grandkids Dylan, Brooklyn, Kendall and Caden. In the Talmud, it is written that it is a sin to be unhappy. Warren lived by those words. He lived as though heaven were the here and now. He truly believed that New Zealand was paradise. 20 years ago, during our first trip to New Zealand, we were walking through the Kauri forest and paying our respects to Tani Mahuta. Warren leaned against a giant kauri tree to sheer ecstasy and said, "This is it. We're buying a house here." This natural beauty is only exceeded by the beauty of the people. New Zealand is my home. This was the second time in our lives we experienced love at first sight. That very first week in New Zealand, we used to sit on the terrace of the Duke of Marlborough and say, "I don't ever want to leave." And now Warren never will. Warren presents us all with a challenge here today. To honour him, we must live our lives fully every day with joy, laughter, generosity and kindness. We must embrace one another and every new life's experience and say, "This too was good." Warren, my love, we are one. I can never say goodbye to you. Forever we will be one.
From Brian, his son, you have been my best friend, father, mentor, business coach and life coach. You always treated me as an adult and not a kid. You're always thinking how to help others. In my eyes, being half the man you are is 100% success. Through your own actions, you've taught me the importance of love, patience and tolerance of others. To be kind, play every day and to love life. I'm a better man today because of you. I will cherish your pearls of wisdom and carry them with me always. I'm confident you will always be guiding and directing my thinking. Until we meet again, I love you, Pop.
And this is a little message that's from Kimberly, Warren's daughter. Just put my glasses on just in case I tear up. Hey Dad, it's me, Squirt. I want to thank you for giving me a beautiful life. You've always shown me how much you love me. You've always taken care of me, and I love you dearly. Thank you for teaching me that time is precious and we need to live life with a smile and a heart full of love. Thank you for being my teacher in life, my hero and my greatest supporter. You have taught me how I should be treated and respected. I never could have got through many situations in life without you behind me and supporting me. Honestly, I don't know what I'm going to do without you present in my life, but your bright light and love for life will continue to shine through me and so many others. I love you forever. Last word.
I guess that piece of music before.
Well, I rode that ribbon highway. I saw above me the endless skyway. I saw below me the golden valley. Well, this land was made for you and me. I roamed and rambled. I followed my footsteps through the sparkling sands of her diamond deserts, and all around me a voice was calling. It said this land was made for you and me. Well, this land is your land, this land is my land. From California to the New York Island, from the Redwood Forest to the Gulf Stream waters. Well, this land was made for you and me. Now the sun came shining and I was strolling, oh, the wheat fields waving, dust clouds rolling, and our voice was sounding as the fog was lifting. It said this land was made for you and me. Well, this land is your land, this land is my land. From California to the New York Island, from the Redwood Forest to the Gulf Stream waters. Oh, this land was made for you and me.
Yeah, thank you, Mr.
Hi, I'm Dr. Brian Paris, and I have,
It wasn't Brian Harris, that was actually Bridget Winston. That's okay, we'll forgive it. There are a number of people here today who would like to deliver their messages, and I'll begin with Alan Walker, probably one of the first people Warren met when he moved to Opua, along with his wife, Brian, of course, and Michael, who was 3 years old at the time. So what I'd like is, rather than have me interrupting and calling people like this to kind of follow on, that would make life a lot easier for everyone. So, Alan, all yours.
Firstly, I'd like to thank all of Warren's friends for coming here today to do a send off for these visitors. My wife Barbara, our son Michael, being 4 years old, and I met Warren 19 years ago when we bought property next door to ours in Ross Street, Opua. Warren quickly made friends in our street and in the Bay of Islands. His open, friendly nature and his involvement in various activities such as golfing, fishing together with the love of knowledge and food and wine soon meant we made many friends. The dinner parties and barbecues that he hosted at his home were legendary. Like Warren would make New Zealand a summer home and return to Napa Valley during the winter. We would always look forward to return as much as he looked forward to coming back. Warren treated us as family and took a special interest in Mike from day one. Over the years, we three played golf together on various courses in the north and thoroughly enjoyed each other's company. Last year, Michael was honoured to help Warren attend his graduation ceremony at Opua University. Warren was a passionate supporter of the Waitangi Golf Club, and in 2020 was made an honorary member for his efforts in improving the Waitangi Golf Course, a legacy that will live on. Warren was even known to carry a pair of slippers in his golf bag to do some grooming while playing around the golf. Our friendship developed to the extent that he would refer to me as his brother, sometimes confusion of others. We, our Ross Street family, and many others in the Bay have lost a truly genuine and much loved friend. Warren will be sorely missed, but we will never forget him. Farewell, Brother Warren.
This is from Patricia and Lloyd Wallace, who can't be here. I believe they're isolating with COVID or something. Apparently that's around. Warren was most definitely a people's person. He radiated a warmth of personality and was generosity personified. Both Patricia and I felt very privileged to be numbered amongst his many friends. Warren and Maritza first came to New Zealand shortly after 9/11 when they decided the South Pacific was a better and safer venue to visit rather than the customary Europe. In Warren's own words, when he saw the Bay of Islands, he fell in love with it and totally embraced its culture and its people. Europe's loss was most definitely New Zealand's gain. I will remember in the early 2000s playing golf at Waitangi and this total stranger driving up to me in a golf cart, putting out his hand and saying, "I'm Warren Nelson from Napa Valley." And that was the start of a wonderful friendship. That was Warren to a T in the nicest possible way. Warren could hold a conversation with anybody and did so frequently. I won't dwell on Warren's health problems, but I will say that even through his darkest days, he always maintained a high degree of positivity and cheerfulness. And that takes a very special person indeed. Maritza and Warren's exceptional generosity to Waitangi Golf Club isn't widely known, but it's getting more widely known after today, and it has been huge. And many of the enhancements to the course in recent years have been due to their luggage. Quite rightly, Warren was made an honorary member of the club last year. Warren, you have certainly left your mark on society in the most positive way. You have left us way too soon, and you will be sorely missed, not only by your family, but the countless friends you have made in New Zealand and around the world. Rest in peace.
I find it ironic that the man with the biggest heart I know died from a heart attack. This was from a man who would greet you with a hug, a beaming smile, and a "hello darling, gorgeous" or handsome, and that was just to me. It was roughly 16 years ago when I first met Warren and Maritza, when I rebuilt their gardens and retaining walls. And Lorraine and I have been dear friends with them ever since. His friends here in the USA and family have become our family, and that will never change. They and anyone staying with him have spent Christmas Day with our family and friends for the last 10 to 12 years now. And there will be a chair for him and Maritza and anyone she brings with her at that table. He loved that I would dress up as Santa Claus and give out presents from under the tree, and Maritza would be my elf. We have stayed at the house in Napa twice, and he was even more loud and generous there, even offering us his XKR convertible Jaguar to drive around on the opposite right side of the road, but I declined gratefully. I will miss those fishing trips out in the boat, going all over the Bay of Islands to my childhood fishing haunts, and our tourist drives through the far north, seeing things through his eyes. The banter, the bullshit, the liberal politics, the food, the restaurants, the alcohol, a lot of alcohol. Getting into watching the Auckland Blues and every All Blacks going together. The America's Cup, which he had to go for New Zealand, of course. He couldn't get his head around cricket, like a lot of us. And I was the same with his American football, though I watched a lot of Super Bowls with him, just for the food and the alcohol. Our Korean War movie nights at the Cafe Theatre with John and I. And he loved you to take wine into the cinema with you. He would always say, friends are the family you choose. And I'm so glad he chose us. Lorraine and I and Leanne and John saw him last 2 Saturdays ago when we cooked for him at his home. We had a great night, but he was very frail. And he gave me the longest hug when we left. We gave both couples a card and present that night, and others in this room as well. I'm going to read you that card if I can. Dearest Mark and Lorraine, thank you for including us as family, especially at Christmas. I noticed that a long tablecloth would be good for your special events, and hope you like this one. Love you lots, Kiwi Warren. He obviously knew it was time, sadly. That tablecloth will be on our Christmas table this year, and he will be at the head. He loved New Zealanders and New Zealand, and we loved him back. Anyone?
Hi, I think most of you know who I am, but for those who don't, I'm Dave Winslow, and I'm a past president of the Waitangi Golf Club. My wife Joss and I pass on our sincere condolences to Maritza and family. When I became president of the Waitangi Golf Club, I think, because my memory's fading, I think it was 2009, but don't hold me to it. My board and I had great ideas to improve the Waitangi golf course. We were getting improvements done with massive help from club volunteers, which was what Warren and Maritza absolutely loved. But finances were always an issue. We had an extended, because I've altered a few things now. We had the 11th extended, and we trimmed a lot of trees on 5 and 18 to make them more playable, especially when we had storms and there were branches all over the fairways. And then Grant Hastings introduced me to Warren and Maritza. They were so impressed with the number of volunteers involved in these improvements, they offered their help. They were an impressive couple. Kind, generous, and really nice people. It was a president's dream. Warren was a true gentleman. Warren always played golf in a cart due to health issues. And unfortunately, when the Waitangi Golf Club got slippery and wet, this meant no carts. Warren first talked about cart paths, which were pretty much solved, which would pretty much solve the problem. So, with Warren and Maritza's financial help, the program to put in cart paths on the slippery parts began, once again with a huge amount of volunteers, and some of which are here today. Warren and Maritza, after we'd done the 11th, and we'd done the 12th with as much money as we had at the time, totally fell in love with the 12th hole. I think some of it was because you could look from the 12th tee right across to the Duke of Marlborough Hotel. And after the extending extension on the 11th hole, they offered to build 6 new tees for the hole, and gardens and cart paths, which resulted in the beautiful 12th hole we have today, one of the nicest holes on the Waitangi Golf Course. The tee area of the 12th was named Parents Point in honour of Warren and Maritza's parents, and a plaque was installed. So to this day, the 12th is known, tee area is known as Parents Point. Fantastic of them both. The projects on the Waitangi Golf Course that benefit from Warren and Maritza's financial support, as far as I can remember, okay, so bear with me, were the concrete paths on 3, 6, 9, 10, 11 and 12, 8 wall washes, 12 tube development including 6 new blocks with laid turf, 5 benches on holes 1, 4, 7, 10 and 14, annual sponsorship of the 12th hole, an edging machine for the concrete paths. You didn't like the weeds growing out, especially going down the hill on the 3rd, so an edging machine was donated, and in that sense why the concrete path areas look so neat and tidy and wonderful to this day. A chainsaw, so to keep the course trimmed and tidy. The sprig bar that lots of you get to still enjoy, including the bar fridge that is in the sprig bar. Maintenance of the golf club car park and the 12 tee gardens is carried on right through. A wonderful, wonderful job. And it was my honour somebody said it was last year, I thought it was a couple of years ago, but never mind. I was very honoured, along with John Hastings, to nominate Warren for an honorary membership of the Waitangi Golf Club, which was richly deserved. Rest in peace, dear friend. I'm not sure who else we've got to make tribute, but I've got one here, I think about it, from the Clough family, Jill and Sarah. They were neighbours, so this is penned by Jeff. Warren loved life. He loved New Zealand deeply. It's not every day that you meet an American who loves New Zealand and the Bay of Islands as much as Warren did. And we were grateful to spend many years in Opua as neighbours. We will think fondly of the time shared together in Ross Street, especially the street parties that lasted through the night, and a number of Christmases we spent together. We will also remember Warren's keen love of the water, fishing, and even on one occasion he did take every male of the Clough family on an impromptu speedboat ride. Your larger-than-life personality will be missed, Warren. Go well through the next adventure. Family.
I haven't prepared anything, but I felt that I wanted to speak to Maritza, Ryan and family, and you, Kimberly. I've never met Kimberly, but of course I know Maritza and I know Ryan. I met Warren, probably one of the first to meet her. We rocked into a motel that my ex-husband and I had at the time, checked every bed and every available unit. And I thought actually he was going to buy the place because he was staying it. And then I learned that they wanted to stay some nights. And from that, a friendship was born. I learned that he and Maritza wanted to buy a holiday home and offered to help them. So they looked, I was trying to say, buy and Russell, Anyway, they then went home and nearly bought something online. And the real estate agent at the time said, look, if you can afford to buy this house, you should come back and look at it. And so he did, and he would go out and look at real estate and then stand at the bottom of the stairs with a bottle of wine under his arm and say, honey, I'm home. Come up the stairs and we would drink the wine and I'd cook a meal, and so it went. And that's when he saw Ross Street. And so the story then, I'm not sure if it was that time or, but Brian came out one time, the same procedure, often more than one bottle of wine, I have to say. And then there was a conversation around about that time, how much he loved Russell. And I said, yes, that sadly I will be leaving it, but that it's in my heart. He said, you know what? I'm going to buy a couple of plots at the cemetery. I said, really? Well, actually, I'd like to think that I come back here one day too. Oh, well, you get one too alongside us. I said, okay. I said, but, I think that we need to negotiate this, Warren. I said, oh, okay. I said, I'm going to have lots of boxes of all my cremated pets coming with me. Can I crib a bit of your space so that I can get them in? Oh, yeah, all right. Then we had a conversation around what was going to go on his grave. And Maritza, I looked back on some emails, and around 2007, we all went up to the cemetery, and I think we had fun. And I saw your email saying, God, I wish somebody had videoed it. It was a comedy show. And so that's how probably one day I'll be alongside you two. But Warren was an inspiration in my life. I thought he was invincible. He'd overcome so many hurdles in himself. And he, like a lot of people, was in my life through so much. And having known him for all that time, we had a lovely friendship that transcended all things, and able to talk to each other about lots of stuff, and I know how deeply he loved Maritza and his family, and how deeply he loved New Zealand. So I will miss you very much, Warren.
So these are just a few of my thoughts. So developing the 12 hole was a highlight for Warren, and the best part about it is when he and Maritza decided to do it, Warren was going to leave money to the club. He got better, and Maritza said, Warren, why don't you spend the money now and enjoy it? And that's what he was able to do, so it was really good. We had a couple of things in common. We both use Old Spice deodorant. On the back it says, if your father hadn't used it, he wouldn't be here. Sue and I, we went to Napa and visited Maritza and Warren, and we rocked up at the house, and unfortunately I've lost my wallet, and that is actually true, I've lost my wallet. Warren opened the door, and I said, Warren, I've lost my wallet. He slammed the door and said, no bloody freeloader staying here. Oh, God. We also went to lunch. We went out to lunch in Knoxville and met another couple of Maritza and Warren's. And they said, when you have Warren as a friend, it's a friend for life. And that was so true. And then just one last thing. Warren's parents have developed a bus, and they turned it into like a minibus type thing to go away on holidays. Anyway, they were going across a really big viaduct, and Warren's mother looked out the window, and there's one of the wheels going past. And she turned around to her husband and said, hang in there, Frank. And Warren and I, whenever we were having a shitty round of golf, we'd look at each other and say, hang in there, Frank. And we used to say that a lot. So, look, that's just a few points, and already it's a good night. Thank you.
Good that's the condolences book going around, so please remember to put words in it and rep it for the family. Now, who else has got some interesting tales to tell? Warren. So you've got the brothers coming up, so.
A couple of stories actually from his son Brian. And the first one, when I was 16 years old, my dad decided to buy me one of the fastest motorcycles Honda made. It was questionable at the time, but I'm grateful he did. Shortly after acquiring the motorcycle, he and I went on a father-son trip to Northern California into Oregon. You could imagine there was a little bit of back and forth riding side by side on the freeways. We were pulled over by the Californian Highway Patrol for speeding down the freeway. Although I was in front, my dad decided to talk to the officer and convince him to give Dad a speeding ticket rather than I. I cherish that trip and I'm grateful I had the opportunity to spend that time with my dad. The second story, Dad really liked the San Francisco Giants. In 1989, he was able to get 2 World Series tickets and decided to take them. I was 10 years old. I'll never forget that day. The San Francisco Giants are playing the Oakland A's. The series was called Battle of the Bay. Right after the national anthem, people started pounding their feet, excited for the Giants to run out onto the field. When the pounding didn't stop, we realised that great San Francisco earthquake was happening. The fear and anxiety of all the fans and players were so intense. Somehow Dad kept us cool and escorted us out of the stadium, knowing the probability of aftershocks. However, he did make time to stop the news broadcaster to get us on the 10 o'clock news talking about the event. That was my pop.
So who else do we have? Titles and funny stories, reminiscences, or other things? Yeah, we've got some more music. The first one was around my name, and we've got Crosby, Stills, and Nash now.
Got out of town on a boat going to Southern Islands, sailing to reach before a following sea. She was making for the trades on the outside and the downhill run to Papaete. Off the wind on this heading line, the Marquesas. You got 80 feet of a water line, nicely making way. In a noisy bar in Avalon, I tried to call you, but on a midnight watch I realized why twice you ran away. Think about how many times I had fallen. Spirits are using me, Lord, your voice is calling. What heaven brought you and me cannot be forgotten. I have been around the world, looking for that woman girl who knows love can endure, and you know it will. When you see the Southern Cross for the first time, you understand now why you came this way. 'cause the truth you might be running from is so small, but it's as big as the promise of a coming day. So I'm sailing for tomorrow, my dreams are dying, and my love is an anchor tied to you, tied with a silver chain. I have my ship and all her flags are a-flying. She is all that I have left, and music is her name. Think about how many times I have fallen. Spirits are using me, Lord, your voice is calling. What heaven brought you and me cannot be forgotten.
This is basically drawing the clothes gathering here. Now, the short pallbearers will take the casket to the front of the building, where the final journey will begin. And so, as I mentioned earlier, we have the opportunity to stay here or to come to the graveside and then to return. So, either way, it's a personal choice, but I look forward to seeing you all later on once we get back from the cemetery. So if the pallbearers could be available, and transports out the front, and what will be outstanding for those last part of the appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Tested, and we never failed to fail. It was the easiest thing to do. You will survive being bested. Somebody fine will come along, make me forget about loving you in the Southern Cross. I'm on late.
again. Maritza's here with us. So I'm just speaking her speech for Warren again. Hello, my darling, wild, wonderful husband, Warren, and hello to our dear New Zealand friends. You, our New Zealand friends, are really our family too. Your gracious, generous love redefines the meaning of the word friendship and takes it to an unbounded higher level. Warren, you are the love of my life. I fell in love with you at first sight. I looked into those sparkling blue eyes of yours, your radiant smile, full of mischief, and that extraordinarily handsome face, and I went weak in the knees. Yes, it was love at first sight, a love that has grown greater with every day since the moment we met. You promised my father at our wedding that you would keep me laughing every day. You certainly kept your promise. Your contagious joy and enthusiasm for everything in life has delighted everyone who has ever met you. You often said that your mother gave you birth, but I gave you life. Then I would inevitably respond that before we met, my life was only black, white and grey, but you filled it with colours galore, unending rainbows. We travelled the world together. We have overcome countless difficulties, always with optimism. We have lived every day to the fullest. We found joy in everything. I love all our adventures and misadventures, our misadventures always ending in hilarious laughter. There is the time that we got lost hiking in the Trinity Alps during a thunderstorm, certain that we were going to die. There is the time we went backpacking and bears ate the 50 pounds of food we trekked in on the very first night of our mountain experience. We were only left with 2 bottles of whiskey, but we made the most of those 2 bottles. Then there is the unforgettable time when you blew up the boat engine on an outing in the Bay of Islands. There is your gift of always, but always, going in the wrong direction in the woods. Everyone here knows that at Warren's core, he felt he didn't exist unless he was giving to others. He served as mayor of his Napa town. In so many ways, he lived his philosophy of serving the community, helping others, making this a better world. This generosity of spirit was often seen in his love of dinner parties. He loved to cook for friends. He loved to bring people around the dinner table and make the house ring with laughter. In that spirit, Warren is sent to eternity, much as the pharaohs of ancient Egypt, with things that matter to him in this life. In this casket is a tablecloth and napkins to represent his love of bringing friends around the dinner table. Also accompanying him to eternity is his favourite golf club, the one with which he hit a hole-in-one at the Waitangi Golf Club. Of course, in his pocket is a small comb, which he always kept in his pants. Warren was very proud of his beautiful head of hair, but he once said that it is sad when a man reaches a time in his life when the best thing you could say about him is that he had a good head of hair. Also buried with Warren is a little bell on which is written, "More wine, please." Accompanying him to eternity are photos of his beloved family, Brian and Kimberly, the children he worshipped and admired. Brian's beautiful wife Lani, plus our adorable grandkids Dylan, Brooklyn, Kendall and Caden. In the Talmud, it is written that it is a sin to be unhappy. Warren lived by those words. He lived as though heaven were the here and now. He truly believed that New Zealand was paradise. 20 years ago, during our first trip to New Zealand, we were walking through the Kauri forest and paying our respects to Tani Mahuta. Warren leaned against a giant kauri tree in sheer ecstasy and said, "This is it, we're buying a house here. This natural beauty is only exceeded by the beauty of the people. New Zealand is my home." This was the second time in our lives we experienced love at first sight. That very first week in New Zealand, we used to sit on the terrace of the Duke of Marlborough and say, "I don't ever want to leave." And now Warren never will. Warren presents us all with a challenge here today. To honour him, we must live our lives fully, every day, with joy, laughter, generosity, and kindness. We must embrace one another and every new life's experience and say, "This too was good." Warren, my love, we are one. I can never say goodbye to you. Forever we will be one. So also laying to rest with Warren, I just want to remind me too, we found a precious taonga in his drawer. It was a piece of greenstone, a very long specific piece. I asked Arlen to bless it before it went in with him as well, which is the tradition. So yeah, he has a beautiful little piece of greenstone in there with him too. Arlen?
Thank you. Just words from his son Brian. You've been my best friend, father, mentor, business coach and life coach. You always treated me as an adult, not a kid. You're always thinking how to help others. In my eyes, being half the man you are is 100% success. Through your own actions, you've taught me the importance of love, patience and tolerance of others. To be kind, play every day and to love life. I'm a better man today because of you. I will cherish your pearls of wisdom and carry them with me always. I am confident you'll always be guiding and directing my thinking. Until we meet again, I love you, Pop.
And this is from Kimberly. Letter to my hero. Hey Dad, it's me, Squirt. I want to thank you for giving me a beautiful life. You have always shown me how much you love me. You have always taken care of me and I love you dearly. Thank you for teaching me that time is precious and we need to live life with a smile and a heart full of love. Thank you for being my teacher in life, my hero and my greatest supporter. You've taught me how I should be treated and respected. I never could have gotten through many situations in life without you behind me and supporting me. Honestly, I don't know what I'm going to do without you present in my life, but your bright light and love of life will continue to shine through me and so many others. I love you forever. Love, Squirt.
verses of the ode. It was written by Lawrence Binion in the early stages of the First World War. The poem is entitled For the Fallen. The second verse I read is what is spoken in every RSA in this country and Australia every night. They went with songs to the battle. They were young, true of eyes, steady and aglow. They were staunch to the end, against odds uncounted. They fell with their faces to the foe. They shall grow not old, as we who are left grow old. Age shall not worry them, nor the years condemn. At the going down of the sun and in the morning, we will remember them. Rest in peace, Warren. Got this basket of rosemary. If we walk on this side, maybe it'll be a little safer for those who want to come and place this big of rosemary for remembrance.
Oh, Danny boy, the pipes are calling from glen to glen and down the mountainside. The summer's gone and all the flowers are dying. 'Tis you must go and I must bide. But come ye back when summer's in the meadow, or when the valley's hushed and white with snow. 'Tis I'll be here the place where I am lying. You kneel and say, Anare, there for me, and I shall hear those soft you tread of me, and o'er my grave will warmer, sweeter be. Then you'll kneel and whisper that you love me, and I shall sleep in peace until you come to me.
That's right.
This is Adam, right?
Kimberly. God bless you all. Yeah, love you.
Here's Linty. Thank you for the beautiful sunshine and my wonderful man. Yes, he would only insist on it. Sunny day for a sunny man.
We took him for a drive down to Long Beach where he used to go for swims. It was a bit hard to turn around at the end there with the hearse. He loved going out in a big American V8 though.
Yeah.
We're going to miss him dearly, but we'll see you. And you know you're welcome. You're still coming to Christmas with anybody you drink. We've got his tablecloth there. Okay, darling. Bye-bye, dear.
Mighty, why do I tapu? Tema to a teta mighty, why do I tapu?
As we swim in this turquoise sea, your legs glide next to me. Dolphins leap in delight in this rainbow coral reef below. Tropical fish tickle our toes. What led us to this miracle of life? Waves dancing day and night. Birds circle up above the forests at great heights. Here we are, a part of it, this dance of life. Yes, here we are, a part of it, this dance of life. What a thrill, what glory to be alive, to be part of such beauty with you by my side. So will you be my partner in this dance of life? Atoms swirl in infinite blending, all this miraculous, never ending. Millions of years led you to me. Here we are, a part of it, this dance of life. On our precious planet, we all dance as one, on this round blue ballroom. We twirl in space, lift each other up as we travel through the starry night. Here we are, part of it, this dance of life. Yes, here we are, a part of it, this dance of life. Here and now, as we walk from waves to sand, on this sun-kissed beach, we twirl and whirl, holding hands. Will you be my partner in this dance of life? This dance of life. Will you be my partner in this dance? dance of life.